sisters, and welcome to Begin by Praying. I'm super excited to have with me today from Leavemark Church on the south side of Columbus, OHIO, my pastor, Steve Combs. Steve, welcome to BBP. Thank you for being here, brother. We're going to rock the house.
Good.
Now, I've known Steve for many years. He's been my pastor for a long time, about 16, maybe 17 years now. Wow. I can tell you this. This man is the real deal. His mission in life is to preach Christ crucified and to bring as many people to know Jesus Christ as possible. That's about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. You're spending your life to do this.
That's right.
Now, I know you're ready to throw it down, so we're going to go ahead and get started.
Good.
Now, I asked Steve to be here today because I want you to hear a pastor's perspective on a trend in recent years among Christ followers. People who believe in Jesus Christ, and yet they don't feel the need to go to church anymore. They don't see the need to be in the church body, part of that powerful connection to maintain and grow their relationship with God. This is becoming a real problem, okay? Satan, our enemy, is deceiving people with subtle lies that the church is no longer relevant to our spiritual growth. And this is disturbing because this trend, it used to just kind of seep in to the nooks and crannies of the local church. But now, thanks to the power of social media, it's just getting flushed into mainstream Christianity like poison in the water. It's prevalent.
Yeah.
Now, Steve, I brought with me today a snippet of a blog from someone. I was going to read this and talk about it, but in the interest of time, we're going to keep moving. I've done just hours and hours online reading published articles and blogs from people just to get a feel for what they're saying about this topic. And the trend seems to be that regardless of people's reasons for leaving the church, they tend to rationalize their absence by saying that the church is no longer relevant to spiritual growth. But we know that's not true, is it? Okay, so what's going on here? Talk to us about this.
Yeah. Well, I love what you're doing here, Brad. This is inspiring, man. You're touching a lot of people, and it's really exciting for me to be a part of this. So thanks,
man. Thank you for joining.
Yeah. So the church, the church saved my life. So, I grew up in a family that was far from God, and so I'm a product of the work of the church. The church reached out to us, they served us, and literally saved our life, saved my parents' marriage, saved us as kids, and served us. And so I love the church. And, it's been said for some time now that the church is the hope of the world. And I believe that.
It is.
And when the church is running right, there's nothing like it. People in prison are going to be visited. People that are sick are going to be helped. The poor are going to be served. People are going to be discipled. The church is going to be what Jesus always dreamed about it being. So I love the church, and I'm for the church. And so just to get us started a little bit to think about some things in the church, first of all, I would say that there's a theological truth about the church that if you read the Bible a little bit, that Jesus loved the church and he gave his life for it. So to even approach the church without that kind of radical love for it, to me, is dishonor to God. And so it all starts with theology and the Bible. And for someone to become a Christian, to be born again, there's absolutely no category in the Bible that they wouldn't be a part of a church. So there's just no consideration of it. So the theology of it is that Jesus said, I'm going to build my church. It's his. The gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And then he went on to say that the price that he would pay, he is the cornerstone of the church, and that the church is built upon him, which he is the cornerstone, the very foundation of it, along with the disciples, along with the prophets, and along with every believer. We're very foundational. We're a part of that church. But there's also a supernatural truth to being a part of the church. You know, the idea of, you know, that he says that if you love one another, you will show the world that you're my disciples. And so the supernatural aspect of that is, like, if we can have Christ in our heart and we're humbling ourselves and submitting ourselves to each other, there is a love that the world knows nothing of. But when we express that to each other through the family, through the body, through the church, the world is awakened to something supernatural is going on, because we don't know how to get along like that, but they do.
That's right.
And so when the church does that, that's our greatest evangelistic tool, is how we get along. Every Christ follower has been gifted in special ways that you fit in the body. I mean, you fit the way God always planned you would fit in the body.
Exactly.
You know, you've been gifted to do this, to be an arm, to be an eye, to be an ear, whatever that is.
Right.
And when the church is showing up and we're fitting in the body in a supernatural way,
functioning together,
what are we going to be able to do for the kingdom of God? But when you don't show up,
that's right.
I mean, you know, what's it like to miss an arm? What's it like to miss an eye? You know, what's it like to miss a foot? You are not going to be effective as effective.
Right. And I think, what he's saying here is quite simply, if you don't think it's important to go to church, you need to ask yourself this question: who's missing out on being blessed because I'm not there? Okay? Think about that. Yeah. So, Steve, this has been wonderful. I appreciate you coming in here and talking to us about this. I don't want you to miss his takeaways on this. There's the supernatural aspect to this, that only Christ, through his love of the church and his love for us, can help us all to get along in church in ways that we can't outside of church. Christ is the cornerstone of the church. He came to earth to establish the church. He loves it. And he wants you and me and everyone to be a part of it. This is too important to miss out on. It's too important to make excuses about. So thank you for joining me here today, Steve. You have an open invitation to come back here anytime. This was great. That's going to do it for this week. But if you have any questions or comments about this topic, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I respond to every comment you send my way. And I'm praying for you. And I want you to know that. So until next week, keep your eyes on Jesus and not on your troubles. Thank you.